Tak. Teraz jest przechodzenie. Okej, powinno być. Jak to działa na ekranie? Dobra, jest okej. Może być. Chwila, ja jeszcze coś luknę szybko i zaczynamy. Dialogi ok. Muzyka.
Once upon a time, the infamous rover Reynardo plundered the floating isles. Then his mother called him to her deathbed. "Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows," she rasped. Reluctantly, he swore. And he whiled away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the Emperor had changed. He'd been good once, a shy, almost humble toad. He'd built universities. But then people started whispering about mass graves in the woods. Midnight rituals, victims screaming. The Imperial Ravens would round up entire villages, and no one ever returned. The Ravens had come to Ubar scouting for ancient books that could have great power. But the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burnt the librarians. The citizens, outraged, had driven them off. The Ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of those books. He was brave and dumb and wanted to join the rebellion. And Reynardo had promised his mother he'd protect him.
Okay. Gdzie jest ten myszka? Ja u siebie widzę normalnie. Może jak będzie akcja, wtedy dopiero coś się okaże. Będę widział.
The kid was looking down, watching his city burn. "Sorry, kid," Reynardo told the kid. "Look, if we give them the book, they'll leave you alone." "My mother died for this book!" "I promised her I'd protect you." Oh, damn it. The kid had run off. With the book, of course. So Reynardo had to run after him.
Ogólnie już to grałem wcześniej, tylko że niechcąco sobie zapis cały spierdzieliłem.
The two ravens were staring at the kid like he was their
Muszę od
dinner,
nowa, tak
which probably was what was in their
tak.
tiny brains. "Hey," Reynardo said. They cocked their heads at him. "Pick on someone as ugly as you." Wait, that didn't come out right. "For the Emperor!" The ravens cawed and rushed at him.
Dobra. Czyli ja już to naprawdę mówiłem, że
dropship flew overhead. He hoped they hadn't noticed him. The kid.
Tak to pamiętam teraz. O kurwa. Dobra.
Oh, right. The Gate of Heroes. Someone's idea of a joke, making the Skyship docks a gated community. You needed a hero's sword to open it. And the kid was on the other side of the gate. Who let you through? Promise me you'll take the book to the rebels, or I'm gonna steal your ship. I'm not taking that damn book anywhere, and neither are you. Try and stop me, laughed the kid. I bet you don't even have a hero's sword. And with that, the kid hopped away.
Dobra.
Had to hand it to the kid. He was an idiot, but he had guts. Where was Renato going to get a hero sword? Ore and wind. Yes, perfect.
Dobra, ja
A
rozumiem.
hero sword. QED.
Bo tu nic nie było, nie pamiętam dokładnie. Nie, chyba nie.
This is what he got for settling down and finding people to care about. The kid's mum had been a swell cook, and she'd laughed at Renato's jokes, even when he didn't know he'd made one. And then the ravens had come to burn her. And she'd made him promise to protect the kid. But she never told him where the book was. Just the kid. He came up to a ledge. It was too far to jump. There'd been a bridge here before, hadn't there? And there was Peter, giggling at him. How'd you get across? He asked the kid. Where'd you find a hook? I hopped, said the kid. Wise-ass kid. Hey, look out behind you! Cute, said Renato.
Ale serio lecieli na
Ravens.
nas. Idą.
It was time to talk some sense into the kid. Just hook his way across the ledge and chase the kid down. Thing was, he hadn't used his hook since he'd retired. How had he done it? Maybe if he meditated.
No.
At that altar there, he'd remember his old skills.
Tak, 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 czaję.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot, like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Kurwa, nie w tą stronę.
And there was the Farfarer. She was the fastest ship he'd ever known. She could do the Kestra run in 12 furlongs. Oh, so the salesman had told him. And something told him the kid was about to walk into an ambush.
Gdzie jest to? Czy na tym programie to jest? To nie. O, to. To wyłączę, to przesunę tutaj. Powinno być ok. O, fuck. Dobra. Mamy to. Niestety nasz chłopek Polek. Nie było to widać niestety,
The
bo...
book was unburned. Next to it were the buckles from the kid's shoes.
No bo
A
musiałem ustalić
kid-sized
właśnie coś.
pile of ashes. Damn it. Why hadn't he lied and told the kid he'd take the book to the rebels? The kid would be alive now. Really pissed off and betrayed, but alive. Oh, damn it.
Damn it.
Renato picked up the book. He couldn't let the Empire have it now. He was going to have to get it out of there. He'd be a wanted man. Probably have to join the rebellion just to have a place to dock. Well, he'd hated home life anyway.
Z tych skrzynek dostaniemy helfa albo kryształki, którymi możemy ulepszyć nasz miecz i tak dalej.
What was the big deal about this book anyway? Maybe he should open it and find out.
Trochę za wcześnie dali ten punkt, żeby...
All that had been years ago. How many? The war was a blur, and now 3 Raven scout ships were chasing him. Where are you running, rebel? Cawed the Raven captain over the loud hailer. Renato could see them cranking up their catapults. Just going out for milk? Renato yelled back. Where can you run? Laughed the Raven horribly. Far behind it, another city was burning. The dark cloud above its island was thousands of Imperial ships. The fleet was doing a thorough job.
Cześć, trzeciej osobie.
To the rebel base! I will spare your life! It called. The entire jury-rigged rebel fleet was only a few islands to the east. Beyond that were only the pillars of heaven. A sea of endless blood-colored tornadoes.
Nie wiem, czy ktoś robi właśnie gameplay z tej gry.
Unless Renato could bring the game changer. Maybe
taki malutki.
he could. Renato had found out where he could find the pieces of the Sky Ripper, the legendary weapon that had exiled the lost gods. Surely a legendary weapon could win the final battle. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino had sent Renato a desperate message saying he had a brilliant scheme to save the rebellion.
Przyjaciół się stawiał na pierwszym miejscu.
Renato
Tak,
dived the Farfarer towards the
może
abyss
wcześniej
as he felt the heat of the jet
dalej
stream.
postawię na to.
The Raven ships peeled off, not
I
stable
tak
enough
jeszcze
to
nie
follow
przeszedłem
him
tej
down
gry,
there.
a
Now it was time
zrezygnowałem
to
sobie ją.
choose. Lapino or the Sky Ripper?
Sky Reaper jest też tak samo
Lapino. Apparently the Mad
jak
Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own.
The 100.
Lapino always wiggled out of trouble given
Nazwali
time,
ją Sky Reaper.
but he was out of time. The Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a rebel spy. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never
No i
mind
papa,
doing it
trzeciej
once.
osobie. Kurwa, co za szmelc.
Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The
Okay.
village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens?
Bierzemy to. Tutaj było właśnie, żeby gemy. Ale nie mamy żadnych. No. To lecimy dalej. Chociaż pamiętam, że można chyba uleczyć. Nie, nie można. Nie będziemy lecieć teraz. Sobie
The
ładnie.
platform used a hybrid propulsion system fueled by anti-gravity and wishful thinking.
No 3 już widzimy. Raveny, kolejne. Dużo ich będzie. Ich jest ogólnie.
People were frightened these days.
A stopka jest tam.
Just 2 weeks past, Renato
Okay.
had sneaked through an empty town and listened to the Raven's call about the Emperor's new taste in ritual sacrifice.
Dobra, dawaj, dawaj, dawaj.
Renato's blood was up. He just needed to smash something.
Tu musimy mieć czerwony miecz. Firesword, kurde no. Nie mam niczego. Bierzemy skrzynkę. Mamy jeden kawałek żółtego Fire Essencji.
Have you ever felt you were just going round in circles? Bernardo felt like that.
Okay. Tu wyskoczą nam nas wrogowie, to ja pamiętam. Do 30 komba trzeba zrobić, żeby mieć najwięcej expa. Dobra. I 30 combo jest.
Ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lupino. Where had the mad rabbit got to?
Dobra, tu chyba byli wrogowie, nie pamiętam czy na pewno. Tu nic nie było z tej skrzynki. Weźmiemy te tu. O, właśnie. Przypomniałem sobie, że tu była ta skrzynka.
Like this, he could probably make a really nice pair of barbecue tongs. Or even a sword.
Okay. Zbijemy tam. Co tu było jeszcze w tej skrzynce, bo nie pamiętam. Nie, health, ale i tak mamy fulla. Właśnie. Do altaru idziemy. No co ja potrzebuję? Na pewno chciałbym mieć. Aha.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you completely forgot. Like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Okay. Chcę całe combo zrobić. Jest, będzie całe combo, tak, dobra.
Bernardo danced around the room yelling,
"Oh yeah, oh yeah,
that's how we do it."
It was something he liked to do, but only after he'd killed all the witnesses.
Chyba nic nie planowało się, lecimy dalej. Grafika fajna. Gra była za darmo, pamiętam. Nie mamy tutaj ścieżki odblokowanej, żeby... Co to tam jest wtedy? A, skrzynia duża. Jest fajnie. Nie, to nie. A chyba.
Can't we just agree to disagree? Said Bernardo. No?
Dobra. Nice. Im więcej robimy combo, tym więcej expa ogólnie mamy. Lepiej się chyba po napadzie gra tą grę.
Dirty and bloody, Bernardo finally reached Lupino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Bernardo recognized the cards. It was Lupino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, we see this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia.
We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer, and his only daughter? That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
To wybrałem też.
Zenobia wasn't just the Emperor's daughter, of course. She'd been Renado's best friend in Sword Fu School. And you're still mad for her, the rabbit reminded him. They'd been close. She'd told him things no one else knew. But she'd never told him who she really was.
She knows all the Emperor's plans, chuckled the Master Spy.
She won't give them up easily.
She'll tell the interrogators, all right,
said Lapino. Taking her would change the game, all right.
Dalej. No 20 minut w sumie gram, tak naprawdę. 20 minut historii. Już jest okej.
The city was already under Zenobia's control.
Tak naprawdę.
I had to admire her
Ogólnie
efficiency.
całą grę skończyć.
Renado shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war.
Yeah,
It wasn't meant to be pretty.
A, na A było dash, dobra, sorry. Zapomniałbym. Lapino był tutaj chyba gdzieś niedaleko właśnie, ten nasz chłopak. Nie. Tu nie mamy oka.
Hero wall. Hero sword. Ice wall. Ice. Fusion.
Okej. Co to znaczy? Chwila.
Gogglers. Renado hated gogglers. It was almost impossible to sneak past them. If one didn't spot you, another one would.
Okej, mamy. Czekaj. Tego. Teraz tego. Dobra, mamy to.
Sleep tight, thought Renado.
Kurde. Dobra. Na łatwości. Chyba nic więcej nie było. Tu nasz kolega jest. Będzie do wyboru decyzja jedna.
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lapino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lapino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renado hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renado.
Niech
Oh,
będzie.
this is gonna be fun,
Said Lapino as he ran to go set up his marvelous plan. If I craft a sword now, it's going to be really short.
Nie mamy na tyle. Ja mógł właśnie, tak chyba nie było? Nie było. A co to tu jest wtedy? Tam jest skrzynka. Nie. Gem. Widzę gema, jak tam fruwał.
Boom!
żeby rozdać niestety. Kurwa, jak ja nie lubię tego. Ostatnie chwilę dałem. Nie, kurwa! Było blisko, żeby mieć cały ten większy combo. Pierdzielę. Dobra.
Renato felt dubious about the whole plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But against all odds, Peppino's idiotic plan worked. Zenobia's ravens ran off after the geese, the net dropped, and Renato jumped out of the watermelon and put his sword to Zenobia's throat. Renato, she said, are those new scars? They look good on you. You never return my velvet jacket. It was my favorite. You look stupid in velvet. Ah, what does an imperial princess know about style? Oh, get a room, you two, said Latino. But the fleet was coming on fast, so they put Zenobia on the Farfarer and took her east, over the Nexus. She'd vanished from Swordfu School, from his life, without even saying goodbye. Without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter. Ah, Lapina was right, Renato thought reluctantly. She knows things. She recognized his look. You're taking me to the interrogators, aren't you? She said, wide-eyed. And then she jumped, with horror. Renato saw Zenobia plummeting. Then he saw the Nexus below them. Cats always land on their feet. Ah, she'll head for the Imperial outpost, yelled Lapino. You have to catch her.
Lecimy dalej. Okay.
Cats can run faster, but foxes can run longer. If you ran, he could head her off before she reached her minions at the outpost. Well, he did love a good chase.
No, dalej nie mam na tyle tego, żeby skillsa pod tego
Renato wondered
niestety.
what would happen if he jumped. Would he be rescued by an emergency platform?
Nie pamiętam właśnie. Dobra. Możemy iść albo w górę, albo
He
w
was
dół.
practically sure he'd find something useful in one of these things.
Okej, nice. Przynajmniej mamy... O. Do... Fajerki na pewno. Chociaż czekaj.
Who needed bridges anyway?
A, bo tu... Aha. Czaję. Dobra. Mamy więcej właśnie tego. D. No i tu mamy do Hero Sworda. Właśnie na tym momencie przestałem grać, tak to powiem. O, no to pięknie. Aha. Dobra, mam ją. Dobra. Kurde. Co ja dostałem za... Znaczy, coś tam Enger, coś tam ten... Aha. Mamy go. 10 animowanych tych przedmiotów miałem speech czy coś mi dostał. O nie, nie, lepiej ja będę tu.
I wonder what I could make with all these sword crafting materials,
Oh,
thought Renato.
Chyba co będzie? Nie? Ciekawe.
He was closing on her. He could smell her fear. He tried not to think about the interrogators at the secret base. What did they do to her? Maybe it didn't have to end that way. Maybe he could talk to her. But after all,
chyba...
there were worse things the Imperials had done to friends of his.
Albo mi uciekło to, ta skrzynka jedna tam. Bo później ją sobie będziemy mogli darnąć.
A crafting bench. Renato wondered what he could make with it.
Hold R2, czyli to, dobra. Aha. Nie! Pięknie, spadło mi to. O ty kur... Dobra, mamy.
Renato reached the outpost. The Imperials there were no match for him. Soon after, Zenobia limped up the path. When she realized he was already in front of her, she didn't even try to run. Oh, you left without saying goodbye. Again, he said, "Please, you're enjoying this a little too much," she said, shaken. "Oh, spare us the chit-chat, would you?" said Lapino as he shackled her hands so she couldn't throw spells. She knows all his plans. All the way back to the Farfarer, Lapino nagged Renato about how the interrogators would pry all the intel out of Zenobia. How that would turn the tides in the imminent battle. All they had to do was take her to the rebels' secret base. Renato didn't like to think about what the interrogators would do to her. Couldn't he just talk to her?
Albo to właśnie. Co wybieramy? Once again, tutaj. What the things are... Wiecie co? Powiedzmy, że uratuje
As they
koleżankę.
pulled away from the Nexus, Renato could see the fear in Zenobia's eyes. I can't take her to those creatures at the base, he whispered to Lupino.
Ah, you've gone soft. Soft in the head. We captured her for what she knows.
I'll take her to the mountains. Tell all the horrible things the Emperor's done. Yeah, believe me. She'll turn. And he turned the wheel.
The hell you will.
Shouted Lupino, and he grabbed the wheel back from him. The two of them wrestled for control of the ship. It shot off like a mad sparrow. Suddenly, Renato was falling.
Ciekawe.
When he came to, Zenobia was standing over him. Why didn't you take me to the base to be interrogated? She demanded. Do you know what's left of people they interrogate? This is some trick, isn't it? To make me fall for you again. Well, I won't. Oh, go on then. Scurry back to your ravens. I can't stop you. But strangely, she didn't. As Renato set off to find the Farfarer, she followed him, keeping just out of sight of the ravens.
Nie ma.
Renato wondered idly if people who had built these poles had really, really long tentacles.
Dawaj. Nie trafiłem Dasha, kurwa. Czemu? Ten teraz też. Jestem dobry bardzo. Już nie ma tu nic. Tak naprawdę ja nie używam tego miecza. Widzę. Na razie.
These platforms were great. Renato wanted one for his house.
O. Fuck! Wywaliło mi pada. Jeszcze ja chcę zobaczyć, gdzie mnie to prowadzi. No nie. Ja pierdzielę. Ale dostałem. Mocno.
As Renato stopped to sniff the wind, Zenobia came up, still mad. Did you really think you'd just talk me into betraying my father? Oh yeah, sure, that was exactly my plan. Then why aren't you even talking to me? Because I've never talked you into anything in my life. They're gonna court-martial you for letting me go. He caught a whiff of the Farfarer. Wet rope, tar, and a cask of Scobel ale he'd spilt last year. It was that way.
Ja chcę przejść tu. Kiedy już nie mogę, już ale. tak naprawdę. Chociaż mnie to ciekawi, czy... No, dobra, to chyba nie przyniesie mnie tam na dół. Dobra, lipa.
Renado's paws were getting numb. Calaveras really didn't want company, did he? Renado wondered if he should have taken Zenobia to the rebel base for real. Maybe she wasn't playing him after all. After the bleak talk about the Emperor's dark secrets, he was regretting his suspicion. Renado had been the terror of the sandcastles when he was 2.
Czekaj, ja mogę stąd? Tak, mogę, tylko nie mam Ice Swordu. No właśnie. O, ciekawie. Lapino?
Sure enough, the Farfarer had crashed in some rocks. There was no sign of Lapino. Zenobia caught up. All that kid stuff in Swordfu school. Look, look, that's the past. We're adults now. We have duties to other people. We have destinies. What are you talking about? And you are the most arrogant, slow-witted, light-fingered, mercenary, immoral, reckless. Run away with me, said Renado, and he realized he meant it. Oh, just like that, she demanded. I will, if you will. So she kissed him. And it was the best kiss he'd ever had. They held hands as they boarded the Farfarer. Renado felt light-hearted, like the winds that were playing the rigging like a balalaika. But Lapino, I need to get back to Lapino, he said, suddenly realizing he could have been captured. A prisoner. He's not. How'd you know? He saw something in her eyes he didn't understand. He fell, didn't he? Into the abyss. She looked away, wouldn't answer. But then a bolt smashed through the Farfarer's keel. The broken ship plummeted out of the clouds.
Dobra. Tak do 15 mniej więcej sobie zlajwuję to. Serio?
Renado picked himself off the deck. They were alive. We have to get to my private ship, she said. Do you trust me? I guess I must, he said. You go on ahead. Clear the path, she said. I can't kill my own soldiers. He wanted to say that he didn't trust her, that he had no idea what he was getting into. But he had no choice, did he? He was following his heart. That's what it means to be a hero. You had to follow your heart.
Teleport. Gdzie? No nie mogę wtedy z powrotem niestety. Nie mam tego swordu. Na dolne przejdziemy, właśnie wiedziałem.
Renado felt like he was ready to learn new things. Thank goodness he didn't have to go to school for that.
O, nice. No, nie ma Cuba.
He was sort of yanking his own chain, wasn't he?
Dobra, nice, mamy to. O, niechcąco. O, wywróciłem.
Smashing things was fun.
No, dobry narrator jest tu w tej grze, widzę. Zobaczymy. O. Dobra. A, to coś mamy chyba odpalić, czy co? Nie, aha, to tylko do tego chyba. No. O kurwa. O, wow.
Renato had learned so much about... Ooh, what was it again?
Dawaj mnie do tej skrzynki. Kurde, niestety. Nie. O, wow.
Renato had felt better.
Wow. Daj mi życie, no. Ojej, to będzie trudne. No. Dobra, mamy. O, nie, mam helfa niestety, do tyle. Tyle bym potrzebował. Dobra, niech będzie tu.
They paused to catch their breath. It was strange to be so close to her. What are you thinking? He asked. I'm trying very hard not to think. Me too, he said. Up ahead, he could see the thin silver of Zenobia's personal ship. It looked fast. They would leave all this behind.
No i znów żyćko mi spadło na dół. Nie. A. Kurwa. Dawaj, helpa. Nice, mam 10
Renata
przynajmniej.
felt a little better.
No ale to nie styknie mi, co ja bym chciał. O. Za mało życzka mi daje.
Next time, stay away from the other guy's sword, you know?
Okej. Jeszcze jeden hit i będę leżał.
This is quite the view, he thought.
Wystąpią ludzie. Raven, no, nie? Ale nie ma nic. No i ducha. Boss. Taki mniejszy chyba, tak? Dobra, 62 chociaż mamy z życia. Tak to powiem. Proszę. Nikt się nie charge'uje na mnie, dobra. Nice, dobra.
As they reached her ship, Renato suddenly felt a sharp pain in his stomach. He was surprised to see a crossbow bolt sticking out of it.
I was going to lead the Empire to our secret base, said Lapino. But no, you had to screw up my plan because you still got a thing for her.
Renato stared at Zenobia. The kiss. Was it real? She said, with a look of indescribable sorrow. She gestured and said an arcane word, and Lapino went flying into the abyss, screaming, "I'm telling your father!" Then she knelt down to cradle his head, and her paws felt very soft and warm. Okay, that was weird. He could have sworn he'd just died. Instead, he was on the Farfarer, sailing away from Ubar. And it was still burning. He'd fled burning Ubar years ago, hadn't he? And now he was back there. Had all those years fighting the Empire been nothing but a vision into the future? A useful vision if it was true. He'd learned something. Lapino was a traitor. Renato had suspected there was something wrong with the Mad Rabbit. But now he knew there was malice behind his goofiness.
Oh.
He'd made bad choices. But now, when the real battle came, he wouldn't make those choices. He wouldn't make the same mistake twice. The book's pages began to flip backwards, towards the beginning. And he realized that his adventure was just beginning. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Ile tu jest zakończeń? 24 zakończenia! Czy nie zrobić właśnie takiego czegoś, że 24 te będą live'y, to jakby 24 zakończenia gramy. No chyba tak zrobimy. Każde jedno zakończenie będziemy grać inaczej. Tutaj będziemy zaczynać od Build the Sky
Every
Ripper.
child knew about the Sky Ripper. The Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces. What could have brought them to light? This Emperor, Isengrim III, had once been kind, but he'd gone mad. And now he was conducting secret, obscene rituals to bring back the lost gods. Had he, somehow, summoned the long-lost components of the legendary weapon out of the deep places of the earth? It was more than Renato could fathom. But if he could find a legendary weapon, he would use it.
Dobra.
As he set foot on the island, Renato couldn't help feeling a bit curious. Was Lapino still waiting to be rescued? No. He was probably drinking champagne with the ravens. Did ravens drink champagne? Did rabbits? Renato felt oddly thirsty, come to think of it. Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper? Renardo never made plans that required constant vigilance.
Jutro będzie live o tej samej godzinie, mniej więcej 13:30. View stories. Don't think twice. Think twice. To było... Nie rzucaliśmy nic. Dobra. Ja dziękuję, kto oglądał ten wie, jak się pierwszy to skończyło, no i dzięki, cześć.